Hi, my name's Tom Elliott and welcome to another financial markets update for Hodges Real Estate. Well, as is often the case for financial markets and indeed for property investors, there is good and bad news this month. Firstly, the good news. The share market continues to be strong, not just here but around the world. This is despite the fact that there's all sorts of tensions around the place, whether you look at the Middle East, what's been happening between Israel and Gaza, or of course in the Ukraine after the terrible shooting down of flight MH17. But the fact is, globally economies are improving, particularly the US economy, and that is largely what is driving up the Australian share market. Another piece of good news is that the carbon tax has finally gone. Now, this was imposed to much dismay several years ago by the former Labor government. It has been voted out of existence, and fairly soon people getting their gas and electricity bills will see a cut in the prices of those two commodities of around about 7.5% to 8%. So there's the good news, and of course from a property perspective I should say that clearance rates continue to trend very, very steadily between 72 and 75%, and in fact that trend is very much the same for both units or apartments and established houses. Okay, the bad news. Well, gas prices. Now, notwithstanding the fact that the carbon tax has been abolished, the fact that Australians will soon have to pay the domestic price for gas, which is the same as an international price for gas, means that local gas prices could very easily rise between 75 and 100%. Now, this hasn't happened yet, but I've spoken to a number of experts in the field and they say over the next 12 to 18 months, get set for significantly increased domestic gas prices. That is something that could really hit people in the hip pocket, especially when you consider our dependence on gas versus electric appliances. Another issue that is causing some concern is the fall in the iron ore price. Now, iron ore is pretty much our most significant single export. Companies like Fortescue, Rio and BHP dig it up in great quantities. They export the bulk of it to China. The Chinese turn it into steel and build things with it. Well, the iron ore prices hit a 2-year low of just US $89 a tonne. That's 96 Australian dollars a tonne. And at that level, quite a few iron ore mines here are becoming marginally profitable, if profitable at all. And then you have to look at the lack of growth in the share prices of both BHP and, more importantly, Rio to see the effect of that iron ore price fall. Another bit of bad news is the unemployment rate. Now, nationally unemployment has gone up to 6.4%. However, here in Victoria, it's 7.0%. That is a considerable deterioration in the Victorian labour market. It's even worse when you look at youth unemployment. The official unemployment rate is 7%, youth unemployment 13.8% in Victoria at the moment, up from 12.5% a year ago. So young people are struggling to get jobs. The big car makers are yet to close down, but close down they will. That means the outlook for jobs, particularly in the manufacturing sector here in Victoria, is probably going to worsen before it gets better. So overall, things are still relatively positive, but I've got to say there is a note of caution to be looked at the moment. As I said, domestically gas prices could increase, big iron ore miners are going to struggle to be as profitable in the future as they were in the past, and most importantly, if unemployment continues to go up here in Victoria, that could put some pressure on the housing market. Having said that, the Reserve Bank still could lower interest rates further, although I think that's unlikely. So for the moment, I think it's steady as she goes in the property market. Clearance rates, I think, will continue at around 70 to 75%, and that is the most important metric for any property investor to look at. And speaking of property, if you're in the market to buy a house or you would just like an appraisal of value, don't hesitate to contact your local Hodges representative. Their assistance can only be of value to the whole process. For more information, go to www.hodges.com.au. I'm Tom Elliott, thanks very much for your company, and we'll do it all again next month.